after the 7-19 mark in the fourth quarter. What happened down the stretch there?
I think our execution wasn't as crisp as it had been. They obviously went after Jason and took him out a little bit there, blitzing and throwing double teams at him when they did switch. And, we weren't as crisp, had some turnovers, but also missed some open shots that obviously would change the game if we hit those. But, it's a little disappointing because we had been better in those situations, execution-wise. And, it's at times, as simple as it sounds, it comes down to making some open shots. And they dared some guys to make it and took it out of his hands, and we didn't make them pay.
WEEI Late Night, part of the WEEI Sports Radio Knock. Boy, you can tell it's getting late for me. That's what or maybe it's just my frustration. These Celtics, that's Coach M.A. talking about no baskets made pretty much for the last 30 minutes of your viewing pleasure of tonight's Celtics game. Jeez. Sometimes I can sympathize when people say, these guys make all that money. But then I think, that's really in something deeper. If you really want to stop that, then you probably should, GPS your kid to the prom. I'm kidding. But it's frustrating where everybody talks about, man, Tatum and Brown, and that's what you get. And if it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad, it really shows up. So here's where I will give Tatum his flowers if I'm going to be a softer, gentler KJ about these Celtics where let's just call it what it is. It's a team that's below 500. The trade deadline is a hop, skip, and a jump away. This team's got to be a seller that's in some regard. Peace sells, but who's buying, as Megadeth once asked. That's not happening here. But Tatum did get to the line 14 times tonight. And you're like, really, this is what you're going to come out of tonight's game with? But look, it's got to start somewhere. Now, the complimentary 0 for 6 from 3 does not help at all. But I would rather see 11 for 14 and maybe like 2 for 6 from 3 than to see like 0 for 7 from 3 and like 4 or 5 from the line, because that tells me you're not even going to the hole. And this is where the 2J strengths are supposed to be, going to the hole. I mean, in this NBA, this would be the time to go to the hole. They can't foul you. They can't touch you. I mean, Jason Tatum has his own, he's got his name on potato chips now. So he's got his name and likeness on. Have you had those potato chips, Matt?
The Tatum chips?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've had the pasta.
My wife swears by the Tatum chips, and I'm like, okay, why do we keep all the bags around the house? Is there some type of Tatum fetish going on? No. But actually, the chips are good, and that's how you know you're going to get the foul calls when you go to the hole. If your face is on a bag of chips, you have to have some kind of confidence in that. Know your brand. If I can speak one-to-one to where some of the heads are in the NBA. Know your brand. If you're on a bag of chips, the ref has got to blow the whistle. I mean, that could be a commercial. Can't you see it? Tatum, keep going to the hole 14 times a game, go to the free throw line 14 times, take the fouls, and then make the commercial. They blow the whistle, you take a chance to eat the chip, and then shoot your free throw. Go to the hole with Jason's, well, I don't want to say the brand because then we're getting into, but it makes perfect sense if I'm trying to help your brand if we're not going to get wins. Jalen, 7 for 20. 2 for 7 for 3. So between Jalen and Jason, 2 for 13 from 3. 29% from three-point land.
But Grant Williams, 3 for 5.
I could care less.
He's a sniper.
Yeah, okay. He's a really intelligent guy, though.
He's one of the only players in the league flirting with a 50, 40, 90 season, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, the Celtics flirt with a 490 season.
All right, that's a low blow.
Yeah, all that. That's really great when your team is heading for a 490 season. 109-105 to the Trailblazers tonight. We're up by 13 at the half. It's tough. So I can go. I've gone on the record. I'm a dummy. I thought that the Celtics would turn it around. I thought they would have an 8-game winning streak when they played the Knicks twice and the Pacers twice in that same week. to carry on from and would beat the Spurs. I was a fool. I thought that the Celtics could go 14-3 this month. Silly me. Harbor One Hotline, 617-779-7937, or the text line 37937. I see a text. My eyes are bad. I see a text here about the Celtics. What you got there, Matt?
Yeah, there's a text that's been lingering. I've actually kind of really enjoyed looking at this one. Every time you brought up the Celtics, the texter, 413 texter, says, OMG, the Celtics really mess with fans' emotions. Another 2-game, quote-unquote, streak broken. LOL, I might stop punishing myself and take up knitting.
Well, even knitting requires points. I mean, if you miss a needle point, it's called needle point. And the Celtics are behind on point. Needle point can be kind of relaxing. I mean, it will relax you. But in terms of what you're seeing with the Celtics, I don't know. This might be the time where you bond with family with some of these games. I'm still going to watch. You know, Cedric is a friend, so I love enjoying hearing him. But at the same time, you know, like, gosh, if you knew that the Celtics were going to blow a 13-point lead at halftime, what you've just told, like, your 10-year-old daughter, like, hey, come on in here, we can go ahead and watch. Hey, they've got Fat Albert on Prime. We can watch the Fat Albert movie with Kyla Pratt.
You know what the unfortunate part is that a week or 2 weeks ago, about a week ago, they were the distraction from the blowout the Patriots were suffering.
But, you know, no, because it was bad in motion. It was, I mean, the Patriots were the distraction because everybody watched that beating, and you know the Bruins and the Celtics both had games that night. So it's kind of like you remember it was very similar to like remember during the Red Sox parade when the Bruins fired.
Oh yeah,
fired their GM, right? Like,
hiding the news a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so when you're like, hey, well, what's going to happen? I mean, doesn't matter what happens with us. We won't be they won't be talking about us. But I mean, just size matters. You see it again tonight. Jurkic just absolutely went off for the Blazers. They could not stop him. They couldn't. And when you have no size, and again, I mean, okay, I understand Robert Williams is out for family reasons and just returning, so he's just getting his legs back. I mean, he was, 2 for 4? I mean, he still got you 10 rebounds, but gosh, it's a man on an island. That's what I said that the Celtics have to do. They've got to look at size. They've got to look at size. But I don't know what you're going to get at the trade deadline when you're under 500 and you're sitting in 10th in the East.